Now moving on to faculty roles and responsibilities. They're again for the tenure track. Um, these can also be described as units. These are things that are implemented into the contracts. So there's for tenure track, there's teaching, research responsibilities, services, expectations. So these can be like department, college, and or university committees that the faculty are a part of. And for non-tenure track, they're full-time and part-time, but do not receive units for research and services, only for teaching. Here is Dr. Beckham. She's actually one of my professors at CSU Fullerton's master's program and in fieldwork. She one of some of the information that she gave me in terms of the roles and responsibilities made it much more clear for me. So I am going to share something that she shared with me. So she said that for the educational leadership program here at CSU Fullerton, the tenure faculty in the educational leadership typically teach 9 units, receive 3 units for conducting and writing about their research, and receive 3 units for services. So again, these different committees. That's a total of 15 units each semester. And with that, I would definitely look into the contracts and see what the different positions require, what they offer before accepting an offer. All right, so for teaching preparation, this might be a shocker because it was to me. Faculty are not taught how to teach. And this has been information that I've learned from research that I found, and also from personal communication with different faculty from different institutions, from community college, four-year institutions, public UCs and CSUs. So unless their programs have teaching pedagogies implemented into their programs, they are not taught how to teach. That means that if their program didn't teach them how to teach, they go into the profession of being a professor without knowing how to teach. So I have listed a few strategies to help you prepare for a teaching career. And you can do this whether you're an undergraduate, haven't started college yet, graduate, taking time off in your profession that you can do. You can either reflect on, observe now, take on now that you have them. So one would be, and something that I've done for the past few years, although it sounded silly, but now I can see it is a good strategy to have, is to observe. So how your faculty teach, the methods that they use, the strategies, the styles, their philosophies. And it's important to take on things that were really good. So the things that you really admired about your professors that you want to implement, and also the not so good things. So maybe you had professors that didn't have good teaching strategies, or you would just not want to do as a professor yourself. And then connecting with faculty. So schedule meetings, ask about their workload, the courses that they teach, or how many courses they teach, the services, committee involvement, the time spent on these different responsibilities. Ask for advice, whether it's being a professor, life, general, lessons gained in their process, and their teaching trajectories. I reached out to professors from the community college that I went to, where I did my field work at CSU Dominguez Hills, professors at UC Irvine that I had. And I went to community college a few years ago from 2014 to 2017. And I was happy and surprised to learn that a lot of these faculty, um, although they were really busy, they, one, remembered me, and then two, were more than happy to share their experiences and journeys with me. I wasn't able to meet with all of them this semester, but I am scheduled to meet with them next semester, which also goes to show that they will make the time to meet with you and to share that knowledge with you, and definitely maintaining good rapport with these faculty. But you can also do that with faculty that you don't know or faculty that you plan on taking classes with, and any faculty. Okay, now let's talk about proposing a new course. So for the longest time, like I mentioned, I've obtained my degrees in psychology. And one of the courses that I really have liked is abnormal psychology. It's just super fascinating, and I've had professors teach it in different ways that were very engaging. And I know for myself that I want to include different textbooks, different methods, different teaching approaches to teaching this knowledge with my students in the future. However, I didn't know that I had to go through this process or of proposing a new course, or the way I would want to teach things differently in psychology. So these were some of the things that I asked and learned throughout the semester to have a better understanding of the steps that I need to take when proposing a course class. So proposing the course. So courses need to meet the department and the institution objectives and requirements. So definitely ask your department what forms are required and what does the approval process look like at your institution. Because many faculty usually don't know how to propose new courses, especially since many of these courses are already in place, so they're pre-developed. Next, I will share an example of what sample items for requesting a new course proposal. And this is from a template of what it looks like from CSU Dominguez Hills. And it can vary from institution to institution. Some may require more or less. So definitely including the course information, what the class will look like, the title that you're going to name your course, the requirements, whether there are prerequisites. As you may have seen when you were looking at the course catalog and you wanted to sign up for a class, sometimes it had prerequisite and intro to psychology to take, for example, the abnormal psychology class. So putting those things into detail, including your student learning outcomes. So what do you want your students to learn from your course? And then the course text that you are going to require in the class. So the books, articles, sample readings, and it's the course text and also the sample text that are optional to students. So it's very to the detail. And then as for the approval process, it can take 1 to 5 years. For CSU Dominguez Hills, it can take 1 to a year and a half for a completely new course. However, for community colleges, it can take up to 5 years, and that's because of the funding type. So that's something that you will need to take into consideration and learn about when you propose new courses. Also, so that you're not disappointed, but I highly encourage that if you have great ideas or if you feel like your institution is missing something or certain texts that would be beneficial to your students, I would go through this process because it is a long time, but it is a huge deal. So for the approval, these are the signatures that you will need for a lot of institutions. But again, varies from different type. You will need department faculty and coordinators, so all the faculty in your department, the department curriculum committee designee, so the point person, the college curriculum committee, university curriculum committee, the vice president of academic affairs. So it is a lot of people that need to review your proposal, that change your proposal, and that approve your proposal. Now you can see why it takes 1 to 5 years, because it goes through so many different people, and there is a lot of changes that you may need to fix too. Okay. And from one of my meetings with Dr. Dean Costino, who is the Dean of Undergraduate Studies at CSU Dominguez Hills, she explained to me in such a great way how the approval process looks like at Dominguez Hills. So I will read from what she shared with me. She said, the whole department has to agree. They look at the proposal to make sure it meets all the criteria, and it asks if it is supporting our institutional learning outcomes. Is there an assessment plan? Is the disciplinary lens clear? Is the program coherent? And are there courses that add up to all those learning outcomes? Is anything being ignored? And that's how it works. And then I sign off on it, or the provost signs off on it, depending on the level. If it's a new program, it has to go to the chancellor's office. So there's a lot of things that are being questioned, a lot of requirements that need to be met, a lot of folk that need to sign off on it. Now for the faculty highlights. So I talked to several faculty, but I'm going to highlight 3. One is Dr. Jen Brandt, who is professor and chair of Women's Studies at CSU Dominguez Hills. Dr. Mara Lee Grayson, who is associate professor and English department faculty coordinator at CSU Dominguez Hills. And Dr. Alfonso Valdez, lecturer and founder and director of Public Policy Laboratory in the School of Social Science at UC Irvine. Okay, want to provide you with a few of the services that Dr. Jen Brandt is a part of and what she does. So she is Academic Senate Women's Studies representative. And under that, she also is a part of the university writing committee member. So some of the roles that she has is as a voting member, which bridges communication between the department and academic senate. So relays information, vice versa. And then is part of approving all courses related to graduation writing requirements. She said, we implement university policies as they relate to university governance and curriculum.